Guruve Gauri Chanjaya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandavat Pranam devotees. Hope everyone had a very wonderful Chaturmasha, and especially this Kartik Masa, and also, of course, the Bhishma Pancha, all of which has come to its conclusion today. Of course, it is not the end of our Seva Brat. So it is not that today marks the end of the mood and intensification of our mood that was had over the period of these 4 months, especially this last month, especially these last actually 3 days, or I suppose the 5 days really. But the astrological cycle has come to its conclusion, but not the mood. Actually, the mood should be something that is constantly and perpetually going up. So just like we do parikrama, and you may do parikrama every year. So every year the parikrama should be slightly different. And what I mean by that is that each year the progression of your contacting and hearing the Harikatha of the various Leela stands of Shri Radha Krishna Yugala Mahaprabhu, they should give an elevation in our consciousness towards that ultimate goal of obtaining Krishna Prem. So though the period of the Vrat has come to an end, the intensity of the mood of the Vrat has no end. It will grow until it obtains its siddhi in this body in the form of bhav, then prem, sneha, matan, pranaya, rag, etc. So we should think like that, and not really think, okay, I got through with that and I'm done and on to the next thing. So I'm speaking for my own edification, as I always do. So I'm probably preaching to the choir for the most part, for most devotees. Oh, I see that I must have smeared my tilak somehow or another. Okay, so, but the question that came in, there's a couple of questions in there, some which are still on the board. I've been quite busy because I'm planning out travel for the upcoming year, and I'm one of those persons who likes to plan very much ahead, as to be able to make adjustments in a minor way at the time when I actually have to travel. So I did not want to, sort of wait till last minute to start putting things together. I'm sure many people are like that, and there are many people who are more spontaneous in their travel, but by the grace of Shishi Guru and Gauranga, if everything health-wise and everything else remains good, I'm looking forward to traveling in the upcoming year. And so I'm just trying to set so many things in motion to make that happen and to happen smoothly. So I have been busy, that was the point. So I've not been able to get to every single question that's come in, but I've been trying to gradually pull them through. There's not like a huge backlog or anything. And some people I did write back to directly as I do. Especially I've written back to some people who've asked to do a Facebook presentation on their question, but I had to explain that I've already maybe done one of those presentations and point to them by title where they could find that. So it wouldn't become redundant, and I would not be, going over material that I've already gone over in a different video. So here, this subject matter has been touched before, but basically, in short, the question was about the nature of what's to be gleaned from reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So the devotee, it was a pretty long sort of query, so to speak. But the question revolved around hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. I know it gives purification. I'm paraphrasing everything as I normally do. We know it gives purification, but there are many different topics. So is it from Srimad Bhagavatam? As you've mentioned, and they said I mentioned in the past, I had to make some clarification that hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is part of doing sadhan bhajan. So in doing sadhan bhajan under the anugatya of pure Vaishnavas, it creates the fertility of the heart to allow the descent of Swarup Shakti. So, but in the person's question, they were asking because our Ras will be gleaned or determined from what taste we develop from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's not quite like that. It's that by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, gradually, the heart becomes purified. And as the heart becomes purified, then by hearing the nature of the mood of a particular associate of Sri Krishna or Mahaprabhu enters into the heart, and at that time, a particular ruchi or taste in that mood becomes our deep aspiration. And then we pursue sadhana in pursuit of that nitya siddha bhav, literally. Right? Kriti sajya bhavet sajya bhavasa sadhanavida nitya siddha shabhavasha prakritam riddhi sadyata. So we pursue that bhav which has emerged as a ruchi in our chitta, and we pursue that in a deep way, going from ruchi to a sakti, and then gradually with the descent of Swarup Shakti, it manifests bhav siddhi. That bhav siddhi, when we give up this body, will turn into a prem vastu, meaning that you'll have a vastu root, means the actual root composed of Sandhini Shakti, in which it can fully accommodate that particular type of prem, etc. So it wasn't that I was mentioning that no, you'll find your Ras in Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, I can't rule that out either. But my statement back at the time was clearly that as part of our sadhana, it cultivates the heart to become fertile to receive Swarup Shakti. When it's done in the anugatya and in the company of Rasik devotees. I did quote that as well from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srimad Bhagavatam Artadam Rasika Saha. Right? So, but as far as what's to be gleaned from Srimad Bhagavatam itself is very self-explanatory. There are 335 chapters, 100 stories, 18,000 verses, 10 categories, right? And they're all geared towards one aim and objective, which Srila Vyasadeva realized in his maturity, in the epiphany as a result of his association with Sri Narada Muni at Samprasashram. So when Narada Muni came to the ashram of Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva at that time had already compiled all of the Vedic sastras, Ved, Puran, Upanishads, Itihasas like Mahabharata, right? So it's an interesting thing because also mentioned maybe perhaps in Padma Puran that Parvati Devi once when she was in the association of Mahadev, she asked what is the status of Vyasadeva. And after contemplation, Mahadev told, Aham Vedmi Sukho Vedi Vyasavetina Vetiva. I certainly know the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami, he certainly knows the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whether Vyas knows or doesn't know, I can't say. So it's a very apparently strange comment for Sri Vyasadeva, who's the compiler of all of the Vedic Sastra. So how would it be that he may or may not know Srimad Bhagavatam? Well, this is prior to his epiphany that came about as a result of his discussion with Sri Narada Muni. And the reason is it's mentioned, Vedas chasavayaham eva vejo vinantavid veda krit eva chaham. So it mentions there are three categories here. One is that person who's to be known by the Vedas. So that obviously is Sri Radhakrishna Yugul Mahaprabhu. So they are called the Vishaya Jatiya, the object of knowledge. Shri Krishna is. Srimati Radhika is the Ashraya. But what is to be known by the Vedas is what is love for Shri Krishna. And who is the knower of that is actually Srimati Radhika. So by all the Vedas I am to be known, I am the knower of the Vedas. So who knows, this is the deeper meaning in this shlok, who knows this prem? No one knows it better than Srimati Radhika. So here Radha and Krishna have been established. What is the position of Vyasadeva in relation to that? Vedanta Krit means he's compiled it. It doesn't say if he's understood the nature of taking shelter of the Ashraya Jatya, Srimati Radhika. You understand? So whether or not he's writing from the perspective of being empowered as Shakyavesh from Bhagavan, or whether he's written as the inspiration coming from his Anugatya to the Ashraya Jatya Srimati Radhika, that is what Mahadev is saying I cannot say or not say. Because no mention of any particular rasa is there for Vyasadeva in Braj. We don't hear of a particular rasa being mentioned, right? He's Vyasadeva, right? Of course, Mahadev has his origin in Gopeshwar Mahadev. Shukdev Goswami has his original mood as the Krida Shukla, the play parrot of Srimati Radhika. So Mahadev made this statement to indicate, I cannot say from what angle of vision Vyasadeva is written. Is it his empowerment that is being manifest only, or is it his actual own mood coming out? So of course, after his epiphany from the Narada Samvad, then he Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pratile Amale Apashat Purusham Puranam Mayayam Upasritam. After that conversation and doing monastic Bhakti Yoga, means meditating on the pastimes of Sri Radhakrishna Yugal, then Vyasadeva had the epiphany and Apashitam Purusham Puranam. He saw everything. And the culmination of what he saw, he expresses in the very first line of the Namaskaratmaka verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadhyashyayata anvyat itarachas artishu abhigyaswarat. He says here, and Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Prabhupada is given tika like this, that Janma Odirasa, from where the original conception of love has manifested, Janma Odirasa, which manifests in two features, Anvayar Itara, means meeting and separation, and which is tasted by that person, Abhigyasarat, is synonymous with Akila Rasamrita Murti. So that person who is Akila Rasamrita Murti, who tastes the transcendental loving relationship in the highest order from Srimati Radhika, who's the genesis of that kind of praying which Shri Krishna tastes through meeting and separation, right? This is how Sri Vyasadeva begins after his meditation and realizations, his Namaskaratmaka verse to Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is also called Upakrama. Upakrama means how any book begins. Upasanghara, how the book ends. Abhyas, what is the constant theme in that book? Apurvata means something unprecedented being stated. Right? Then there's Artavad and Upapatti. Right? These are the 6 elements of Vichar. So here it's clearly mentioned that Vyasadeva's perspective now has changed. Right? Whether he was writing and compiling all sastras simply from his empowerment, Vedanta Krit, certainly now in the compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he states in his own Namaskaratmaka verse, no, now I've understood something different. That the ultimate goal of life is this kind of Krishna praying. And therefore in the Vastu Nirdeshtatmaka verse, which means the sort of defining verse, he mentions Dharma Projita Kaitavotra, Paramanoni Matsura Namsatam. Therefore, all Dharma, which has come in the form of any sastric conclusions, which don't support or which don't point towards the goal of this ideal in Srimad Bhagavatam, it will be looked at as Kaitava Dharma, because there's some cheating of the absolute goal. If you look at any sastra just to obtain moksha, just to obtain dharma, artha, and kam, then you're cheated of that ultimate goal of this kind of praying. So this is the implication here in the second verse, and then of course in the Faustuti verse, Ni gama kapatura galitam phalam, Shukamata amrita dravisamyutam, Pibata Bhagavatam rasayamalayam. Right? That the Srimad Bhagavatam is itself, because Tulya Bhagavata Krishna Vibhusavasraya. Right? Prati shloke prati akshare nanatakai. The Bhagavatam itself is Radha and Krishna. So he's saying, therefore, Pibata Bhagavatam rasayamalayam. It is full of rust because it is directly Radha and Krishna themselves. It's just that they manifest in literary form. And we know that Radha and Krishna have so many forms. They have Atya Vigraha in this world to accept the sevak servants, the service of various sevaks in this world. Radhakund and Shamakund, directly Radha and Krishna. I was doing some study this morning in some dhyana on Radhakund and Shamakund. And directly they're the root of Radha and Krishna. Also, this Srimad Bhagavatam, Tulya Bhagavata Krishna, it says it is equal, but it is directly itself Radha and Krishna. You understand? So what is different about Srimad Bhagavatam and what's to be gleaned from it is that now Vyasadeva has made a case in 18,000 verses, right, of what is the importance of understanding service to the mood of the praying of Srimati Radhika, and hence all the Brijabasis, hence Mathura, hence Dwarka, hence Vaikuntha, because all praying, all service, all love, its genesis is in the highest form of love, which is the love of the pinnacle of Ashraya Jatiya, Krishna's own Ahladini Shakti personified, his own happiness personified in the form of Srimati Radhika. So Sita Devi, the Mahishis of Dwarka, Lakshmi Devis, they're all the prakash or expansions of Srimati Radhika in varying degrees to give pleasure to the Lord in those particular forms like Narayan, Ramachandra, Dwarkadish Krishna, etc. Understand? So, this purpose now Vyasadeva saw clearly, apashyatam purusham puranam. He saw it completely. And therefore he expressed in all of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam various elements of relationship to that understanding. How to do Sadhan Bhajan in the 11th canto, what is the glory of Nam in the story of Ajamil, what is the glory even of other kinds of praying to Bhagavan leading to this ultimate kind of praying, what is the danger of aparad, like in the story of Maharaj Ambarish and Durvasha, right? What is Atma Tattva in general? Everything he covered in 10 categories. Atra Saga Visagascha, Stanapusunutaya, Manavata Ishanukatas, Niroda Mukti Asraya. Every Puran has to have these 10 categories, right? The creation, secondary creation, purpose of the creation, maintenance of the creation, what did Bhagavan do in any Manavatar, etc. The winding up of the creation, right? Actual liberation, and then shelter of the Ashraya, right? So he pointed out throughout Srimad Bhagavatam that the ultimate Ashraya is praying of Krishna. The highest form of that praying of Krishna, called Madhanakya Mahabhav, is personified in Srimati Radhika. Ladini Sara Prem Sara Bhav, Bhav Karma Kastanam, Mahabhav, Mahabhav Sarupini, Shridhata Thakurani. So he points this out in Srimad Bhagavatam by gradually building a case and then revealing in the 10th canto, Dasamaskanda, he reveals the glory of the Ras Leela. And in Madhya Leela chapter 8, Ramananda Samvad, it's mentioned here, Samyak Saravasana Krishna Ras Leela. Right? The pinnacle of all Krishna's pastimes is this Ras Leela. In that pastime of the Ras Leela, Krishna tastes the height of all kinds of rasa. So rasa is tasted in the Ras Leela, right, in its highest form. Having witnessed that highest form of praying, Krishna now only in Krishna Leela covets one more thing. That is to himself be in a position of the Ashraya, to experience what is that praying. I'm the object of that praying, but what is the nature of that praying itself in those who love me? So, Purva Vrajvilas 18, Abhilas. So Krishna's left with these three Abhilas. In Radhika he sees Shri Radha Pranaya Mahima Kidruso Vanayava. What is the Mahima of her Pranay? That it brings me completely under her control. So I'll become the Anukul Dira Lalit Nayak, and she is Swadina Bhatrika Nayika. Right? How this happens is the pinnacle of her love. So what is that love? Krishna wants to know. And my Chatur Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Prem Parikar Madhuri, Lila Madhuri, the four sweetnesses of Krishna that only manifest in Braj. Radhika tastes those in an exceptional way, unlike any others. What is the position of how she tastes that? Sokyam Chasya. The happiness derived as a result of that. What is? I have no experience of that. But it seems to be millions of times more than what I'm experiencing. So as a result of that, the Lord begs, pleads, and steals to get the mood of Srimati Radhika. And of course, this leads to Gaur Leela. So Apashyatam Purusham Purna means Vyasadeva must have also seen this. Therefore, when Sri Vyasadeva has concluded the writing of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's described everything related to bhakti and the attainment of service to this kind of praying, he then describes the degradation of the Kali Yuga. And it would seem so irrational to have gone through up to the Sonam Bonam of the 10th canto, in which Ras Leela is described and so many things are described, and then the meeting of Kurukshetra with Brijavasi, so many high class of things. 11th canto, so many discussions of the Navayogindras with Maharaj Nimi and the whole process of bhakti. Then in the 12th canto to describe simply the dynasties of kings and the degradation of Kali Yuga. So why would he do like this? Very deep and special meaning here. Because having described everything, he's juxtaposing it to the fact that Kali Yuga, in which Mahaprabhu will appear after the appearance of Shri Krishna, has so many disqualifications and so many degraded qualities. But still, in that atmosphere, Krishna will fulfill his desires by taking birth and having Gaur Leela. And this Gaur Leela is of such a nature that anyone who comes into this Gaur Leela, they will have the ability to taste the intensity of that kind of praying which was tasted in Braj during the Ras Leela. Premayava Goparamanam Kamamityagamat Pratam Udava Adayo Pietan Vajanti Bhagavat Priya. Shri Rupa Goswami quotes this verse. It's verse that's quoted also Chaitanya Charitamrita, but Rupa Goswami quotes this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to show that all of devotees of previous incarnations, where the Lord had appeared as Narasimha Deva, Raha, etc., as Ramachandra Bhagavan, all get a chance to come into Gaur Leela and experience the intensity of that kind of praying. They don't change their swarup, but they come in a special kind of dasya to Mahaprabhu, and they taste in the Kirtan Ras Leela in the courtyard of Srivas the intensity of that kind of Braj praying. Understand? So the very concluding statement, Upasanghara, of Vyasadeva as far as Srimad Bhagavatam is concerned is Nama Sankirtanyasa Sava Papa Pranasanam. Pranamam Dukkha Samanas Tam Namim Harim Param. That actually I'm putting my pen down. I'm putting my Harikatha to rest on this verse, the 18,000th verse. I'm putting my pen to rest because I've seen that even in the degradation of this Kali Yuga, that the one great quality is that Mahaprabhu will appear. And this Sankirtan has the quality, Sava Papranasanam. It can completely destroy any obstacles, not only sinful life, any other obstacles on the path of obtaining service to this highest quality of love. Right? What is this? Anarpita chirim chilat kalunavatina kalo sumutpaitam unata ujwala rasa sobhakti sriyam. And it awards the highest mode of service to the highest form of love. Chiratadamni jaguptavitam swanama premamrita atyudara. Apamara Taragora, to the lowest persons, it offers the highest service to the highest type of love. So Vyasadeva, after seeing this, was overwhelmed. Therefore, he put his pen down, because the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam are unlimited. We quoted one verse earlier, Pratyakshare, Pratisloke Pratyakshare, Nana Atrakai. There's unlimited meanings, not only in every shlok, but in every akshar means every letter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So why Vyasadeva put his pen down here? Because having witnessed the great mercy of Mahaprabhu, he only at that time himself wanted to enter that Gaur Leela, so as Vrindavan Das Thakur, Vyasadeva then enters into Gaur Leela, in which now the Bhagavatam continues as Chaitanya Bhagavat. But in his ecstasy of writing Chaitanya Bhagavat, some help was needed there, so Sri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami and others also wrote and filled in things which were due to the ecstasy of Vrindavan Das Thakur, seemingly left to be fulfilled by Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, Lochan Das Thakur, Murari Gupta, others. And especially Sri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami. So here is the actual intention of Srimad Bhagavatam. I know it's been a habit of mine that if I'm asked to give Srimad Bhagavatam class in a particular place that I've either never given Srimad Bhagavatam or have not given for a very long time, I bring this subject matter up and explain it in the way I've just explained here, because it's very important to have perspective on what it is that's to be gleaned from Srimad Bhagavatam. In 18,000 verses, you certainly can get lost and sidetracked into many various things and various contemporary issues and so many things. But we can't lose focus on what is the purpose, what's the overarching purpose for which Srimad Bhagavatam has been manifest. A deep study of Chatra Shloke, a deep study of the first 3 verses, the Namaskaratmaka verse, Vastu Nideshtatmaka verse, and Falstuti. These are like small keys which can help to unfold the actual purpose for Srimad Bhagavatam. So hopefully, Prabhuji, this was helpful. And if I did miss anything in the question, because I paraphrased your question, please feel free to remind me either here or in the messaging that I missed this particular aspect, and I'll try to then answer it. Of course, as usual, I also invite senior devotees to comment and correct something I may have gotten wrong or something, and just to contribute to the overall understanding, because the purpose of this is to not only inspire our own bhakti, so speaking for my self-edification, but also in sharing it as a mood or in a mood of Vaishnava Seva to get the blessings and the kripa of so many Vaishnavas. All right, my Dandavat Pranam, Vanchakalpaturuvishya, Kripa Shindavevacha, Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Vanchakalpaturuvishya, Kripa Shindavevacha, Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Double Dandavat Pranams. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai. Oh, I also forgot to mention, or did I mention it, that today is also the Shri Krishna Ras Yatra, right? So Sari Ras Leela, also the appearance day of Nimbaditya Acharya. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else. And of course, I mentioned already is also the conclusion of our Chaturmash period. All right, Dhanyavad, Radhe Radhe.